Masala Radio.
Tomorrow is a big day. I have no idea what the reaction is going to be tomorrow, and I have no idea what to expect, but we got to be cautious about tomorrow. We cannot be overly optimistic and just do everything that we were doing before, and to make sure that there is cautious optimism. All right, so KP George is always cautiously optimistic. He is optimistic, but he also wants safety of our people. And live on the radio, I have our Fort Bend County judge that has stood up on the plate. When time has come, he stood up on the plate. He made the right decisions and he communicated them effectively, and he's doing what when I saw him and I ran into him at Costco, he was wearing his mask and gloves, and he's somebody that says what he does what he says on the air.
Practices what he preaches.
Practices what he preaches. Today on the air is KP George. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Good morning. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you clearly.
Yep.
And Judge, tomorrow is going to be a big day. Yeah, it's a big day for us. I'm not sure whether it's a little too soon or it's right about that time. But what's your thought about tomorrow?
Okay. Let me tell you this. This is not personally my choice. But when governor says we have to follow through on it, and so we are going to be partially opening. And also he said of talking about restaurants and all at 25% capacity, and I have no idea who is going to be enforcing, going to every restaurant and looking whether it is 25% or more or less or whatever.
But it is is it voluntary, or are you going to have, you as judge, are you going to be able to somehow restrict this?
If I have the resources, I could enforce it because it is an order.
I see.
Yeah. But the problem I'm facing is we don't have the resources to visit all the restaurants and how many people sitting there, and we don't have the resources to do it. And that's the very reason why that responsibility. We will do whatever we can. And like I said before, I trust the citizens of Fort Bend County, and I just want them to behave responsibly. And also, I just wanted to, before I get into the details of it, let me give you an update. Our number of cases keep going up, which is 1,052 now, as of today, this morning. We have sadly 26 deaths.
The number of deaths have gone up, because it was for the longest time, for the last few weeks, it was like 10, 12, 14, 15, 17.
It is creeping up a little bit. So that actually reminds us this is a real issue, and it is right in our backyard. It is there. But the good side of all this, when we talk about scaring people, and the good side of it, we are doing more testing, and we have, as we mentioned before, we have a full-fledged operation at the fairground,
right? And
we took over the Smart Financial Center site. Now it is operated by the county, and tomorrow we are opening another site at the Marshall High School, and then we are looking and talking to open another site somewhere in the Katy area, the west side of the district. So we are doing everything possible to test more people. Means the only way you're going to find out the depth of this problem is testing more people. That makes sense, right?
That's the only way you will really know how big. And this is going to continue, because there are, the numbers will, before they start going down, we're gonna, just like we're seeing the spike. If you look at the chart, if I look at the chart, U.S. chart, and everywhere I keep hearing it's flattening.
Yes, you know what? Nothing is flattening, and this is another thing. This morning I'm reading a news from, President's son-in-law is saying U.S. coronavirus response is a success story. And so some of these people are delusional, and they are living in a very different world. And when you are when this is my problem sometimes. I look at these numbers and 61,849 people, United States citizens, died in 8 weeks.
Wow. And I believe yesterday was also one of the record, 2,500 people.
Something like that. Yeah. And so when you see that, and when initially the same president said it is not a problem here, now we have 1.07 million people in the U.S. is confirmed. And we have almost 62,000 people died. How could you stand up and say it is a success story? And so that is obviously something is wrong. Your definition of success is very different than mine.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. And how do you look at, even 26 deaths in Fort Bend County? My heart goes out to those people because, their families, and because 26 families' life is changed forever.
Yeah, lives will be changed. Are you privy to telling us? I'm sure you know, but can you tell us, out of these 26, how many South Asians?
No, I don't have that information. But
okay.
I think you could. Some of that information is available. It is actually reported like 10 not white Hispanic, Hispanic 4, black not Hispanic 6. I still don't even understand all that means.
Right.
Asians, it says 6. That's what it says. The number says.
So 6 for Asians, and Asians could be all Asians and
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have any separate numbers for ethnicity-wise. We don't have. But the thing about it is, I just want people to understand this is real. This is here, and also I see you and me should be careful. And I think the guys are dying much more than women. I tell you that. In Fort Bend County at least, and so
more men than women. It's affecting men more than women.
Yeah, that's what it shows. But our sample is very small, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So the point, I guess, taking it seriously from day one and working, and also another thing I come to find out in Fort Bend County, most part, the people lost their life, had some kind of pre-existing conditions. Like, for example, maybe they're diabetic, or maybe they have hypertension, or some kind of pre-existing condition existed. Coronavirus literally triggered the problem more, and obviously it affects your respiratory system. You cannot breathe, and then it can lead to the death. And so I guess that is the very reason why we are continuing this. And also our people who lost their life is about 55 or 60 and above. And so I just want the people, that is the very population we are trying to protect and do everything possible, because they are our mom and dad, they are our uncles and aunties, and yeah.
So tomorrow, May 1st, beginning of a new month, restaurants opening up. What's the list again, Judge? Restaurants, movie theaters?
Yeah. I really don't understand why movie theaters.
Yeah.
But anyway, movie theaters, restaurants, and anything, like, for example, normal strip center, like maybe
shopping,
maybe
retail.
Right.
The only things that will not open up tomorrow is contact, like you were saying, contact, which is nail salons, hair salons, massage places.
And also maybe, the gym, not maybe,
gyms, okay.
Tanning salons.
Yeah. Tanning salon, gyms.
Yeah, all kind of, anything personal contact required. And also I just wanted to tell our listeners, Fort Bend County is going to open up back to business, because we are going in alignment with governor's order from Monday. So if you are looking to get your taxes paid, or your car registration renewed, or
you can go to the office.
Birth certificate, like any kind of establishing business entities like sole proprietorship, or anything you need to get it, and also permits for new buildings and, fire marshal and environmental protection services, you name it, all those, possibly we are looking to, and we are actually giving our department heads enough leeway to open it safely. And even today, I just wanted to be very clear, we are not 100% safe. And so we wanted to make sure we are doing everything possible to protect our employees. I mean, so the county is going to be open. County will be open for business from Monday.
And when do you see the contact places, nail salons? Because I've got a couple of big sponsors who fit in that, and so Aisha's, Nisha's, nail salons, hair salons, massage, gym. When would you see that happening?
Again, at this point, the narrative is held by governor.
Right.
So if he come out and say, "Hey, go ahead and open it," nothing I can do to stop. If I had personal choice, I wouldn't be opening the county on tomorrow. I would have waited at least a week or two to see, because we are testing more people now. It gives us a clear indication where we stand if we test more people. So I just wanted to, with all this stuff, and we know that our numbers are going up, so I encourage every citizen, those who are, planning to go out, be prepared and, follow the mask and make sure you put the mask and, you make sure you wear mask and make sure if you are going grocery shopping or something, wear that gloves and, because you're touching the cart and, you're touching stuff. It's being touched by other people, and also dispose it responsibly, like we said last time. Once you're done with the gloves and don't throw it on the driveway or side of the parking lot and stuff. So dispose it responsibly, but act like you're still in the middle of coronavirus pandemic, and so it is simply for your safety, because you have no idea who got it, who don't, no idea.
Judge KP George on the air with us, Masala Radio, and you've always been you've been so upright and forth about what's happening in the county and sharing us with the information and behind the scenes, and we thank you for the good work, Judge. And we would
I just wanted to add, it is very simple because I care about people's life. And, when it comes to this 26 people passed away, I don't know personally any one of them. We are not even allowed to contact the family and all because of the HIPAA and all other restrictions out there. But it doesn't matter who they are, that's their life. And that is the biggest problem we are looking at in our country, specifically looking at people. I mean, I understand why one side of the political spectrum wanted to open it up because people vote for economy. You know that, right?
Yeah,
finances, economy. Because anytime any president have a bad economy, and you have seen that with Father Bush, you have seen many times that kind of situations, and so. A bad economy is a bad thing. So that's why these people, ignoring everything else, they wanted to, start the economy back. And so, like I always said, I want to open it up. And, we need our businesses to coming back. And, because they are the backbone. We talked about it last time. All the small businesses, coming from our community, not only coming from our community, all across the board. And they are hurting, and we know that. And so, but at the same time, if you open up your restaurant, people are not feeling comfortable coming.
See, that's what I was going to talk to you about, is that even though we may open up the restaurants, but people still have that fear. I mean, should I go out? Should I not go out? And it's gonna be a while. It might take a month or so for that fear to subside. People have that fear, and I think it's a genuine fear.
It is a genuine fear. And let me tell you something else. Let's say if there is any sign showing that we opened up too early, that's not going to be good.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
I've heard of
Yeah.
out of Japan and Singapore and
Even China.
China, they open up too early, and then you've got spike of another spike of cases, and that's gonna just set you back further.
Yeah, and that's
and also. Yeah, go ahead.
I was reading that a lot of like Dr. Fauci and all that saying that this is technically only really phase 1, because once we do start opening up and everything, there is going to be another surge and it could come back worse.
Yeah.
So the reason is coronavirus is different. And any virus comparing in the past we dealt with, coronavirus is different. There is no study showing that when it gets hot, like President Trump said, it is going to magically disappear. There is no study showing that is fact. And also, it is so contagious. You don't need you don't need to hug or kiss somebody. You could just sneeze. It is simply, or you don't even need a sneeze. Somebody with the
Sometimes it is just airborne.
Yeah, airborne, and you touch something they touched, and that's all it takes. And so the nature of this virus is very different and nothing like we experienced in the past. So that's the very reason why I hope, especially, there's a lot of people, your listeners, a lot of them are our uncles and aunties and older generation people. I highly recommend them to treat it like still in a lockdown, at least for a month. Because they are the most vulnerable, and we don't want
any more deaths. We don't want any more deaths. We don't want to tax our hospitals anymore. If you are safe, we are safer. Our hospitals will be getting back to procedures that we need to do. And if you get sick, you go to the hospital. You're gonna infect some doctors. I mean, it's all just a very deadly process. So.
And can I add something to it?
Sure.
There's a lot of WhatsApp and all this garbage going around. Everything is good in
garbage.
India, and also Malayalis are saying everything is wonderful in Kerala and all that stuff. I just wanted people to know that we live in the United States, and I'm so thankful I live here.
Yeah.
And we could have done a better job, and that is an individual's decision. It doesn't reflect the nation.
Right.
And another thing is, our average citizens, already got a paycheck from the government deposited into their bank account.
Oh yeah.
And it's not going to serve the next 6 months, but at least something. And the businesses are getting all kind of benefits, and you need to dig into it. You could talk if you are a business owner, and paycheck protection plans, and you name it. There are so many things they are doing to support us, bring us, help us. And also, I was just asking some, our friends who are talking about, I'm like, I'm hoping, once the flights start, you're going to pack up and go back to India or other places where, coronavirus is a little bit lesser.
That's not what's going to happen. India is even more. India doesn't want anybody. I mean, they've got you have no idea what the real numbers are in India. People living on top of each other. There is 3 million in Dharavi. You have no idea what the real numbers are in India.
That is one thing. Second thing, I know personally 2 people died in Middle East. Their body has been flown into Madras because the Kerala airports refused to let them land, and the body is stuck somewhere now. I mean, so and there are so many people are stuck in their homes, and with no, I mean, there's a lot of workers and stuff with no food and things like that. So here, I mean, the reason also I wanted to say, people who live here, I just want them to feel good about, how good of an environment we live. Yeah, we have this problem.
Yeah.
In this process, I don't know, Sunil, you noticed, the Indians need to give another 6 more rupees to buy $1. Have you noticed that?
Oh, really? The exchange rate.
69 to 70 before the pandemic started. Now it is 76 and a half.
Oh my God!
So, I have totally. I used to monitor the U.S. dollar rupee, but now in the last 4 weeks, I've really stopped. It's 76 rupees. That is incredible.
Yeah. But so point is, the people who feeling. I mean, we all came from India. We love India, but you know what? United States, and they always come out of these kind of pandemic. And I just want the people who live here be careful. And that's all I ask. Be cautious and make all the precautions and all that stuff. But we are living in the best place. And, you could deal with this thing. And I want them to feel good about it. Because there's a lot of, when I open up TV or, I'm hearing all this stuff, everybody's dying in the U.S. and India is doing good and Kerala is doing good and all that. God bless them. I'm not against anything. But at the same time, it makes me upset, and also make me, I just want to make sure, give a word of encouragement those who are scared here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. In India, you hear Modi or you hear somebody talking, but here we've got, I tell you, and in Fort Bend, we've got our very own KP George gets on the radio. It's not just some, it's not just some Trump talking, but locally, what's happening locally, we are affected.
Cares?
Our local politicians, our local folks that are in politics here locally make the biggest impact in our lives. And KP George been regularly every week, twice a week, he goes on the air, tells everybody what's happening in our county. Even though right now we're open tomorrow, he's issuing a word of caution. Don't take it as a sort of passport to getting out and doing whatever you want. It is 25%. You got to be cautious. It is out there. The numbers are still increasing. The graph is not being flattened. You look at the graph, just go to World Meter and click on the graph. You'll see the graph going up straight like an airplane in the sky. So be cautious. He cannot override what the governor said. If he could, he said if he could, he would.
Right.
Until just for the safety and the security and the lives of the people in Fort Bend.
Right.
We will take your words. Yes, sir. Thank you for the update. And we will check back with you again early next week.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Masala.